Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds talks with his Papua New Guinea counterpart James Marape in Port Moresby. Two leaders discuss cooperation in commerce, technology, healthcare and climate change. Third meeting of G20 Working Group on Tourism to begin today at Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik to expand his cabinet today. IMD issues heat wave warning for Delhi and adjoining areas as temperature breaches 45 degrees in several parts. Daniil Medvedev claims first clay court title of his career as he beat Denmark's Holger Rune in Italian Open tennis final. And Indian athlete Shaili Singh bags bronze medal at Golden Grand Prix 2023 athletics meet in Yokohama, Japan. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with his Papua New Guinea counterpart James Marape and discussed a broad range of bilateral relations. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Prime Minister James Marape and he had very productive talks covering the full range of bilateral relations between India and Papua New Guinea PNG. Mr. Modi said he and his counterpart discussed ways to augment cooperation in commerce, technology, healthcare and in addressing climate change. Prime Minister Modi also held talks with the island nation's Governor-General Bob Dadae separately and stressed on strengthening the partnership between the two countries across multiple sectors. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he had a wonderful meeting with Governor-General of Papua New Guinea, Sir Bob Dadae, and talked about ways to deepen bilateral relations between both the nations across different sectors. Following his meeting with the Governor-General, PM Modi arrived at the iconic Epic House designed to host world leaders for Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meetings located on the shores of Elia Beach in Port Moresby, where he was welcomed by the NPG Prime Minister James Marape. The Prime Minister is co-chairing the third summit of the Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation, FIPIC Third Summit. Around leaders of 14 countries are participating in the summit. FIPIC was launched during Modi's visit to Fiji in 2014. Making the opening remarks at the FIPIC Third Summit, Prime Minister said the whole world is facing new challenges today and there are seen hurdles in the global food, fuel, fertilizers and pharma supply chains. He added that when COVID and other testing times affected the world and reliable countries didn't come for help, India was very much there to support the Pacific Island friends.
भारत में बनी वैक्सीन हो या जरूरत की दवाइयां, गेहूं हो या चीनी, भारत अपनी क्षमताओं के अनुरूप सभी साथी देशों की मदद करता रहा। जैसा मैंने पहले भी कहा है, मेरे लिए आप लार्ज ओशन कंट्रीज है, स्मॉल आइलैंड स्टेट्स नहीं। आपका यह महासागर ही भारत को आपके साथ जोड़ता है। भारतीय विचारधारा में संपूर्ण विश्व को परिवार की तरह देखा गया है। वसुधैव कुटुंबकम इस मूल मंत्र हमारी प्रेरणा है।
Prime Minister said India considers its responsibility to convey the concerns, expectations and aspirations of the Global South to the world through the G20.
भारत ग्लोबल साउथ की चिंताओं, उनकी अपेक्षाओं और उनकी आकांक्षाओं को G20 के जरिए विश्व के समक्ष पहुंचाना अपना दायित्व मानता है। पिछले 2 दिनों में G7 आउटरीच समिट में भी मेरा यही प्रयत्न था। क्लाइमेट चेंज के मुद्दे पर भारत ने महत्वाकांक्षी लक्ष्य सामने रखे हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि हम इन पर तेजी से काम कर रहे हैं।
In Jammu and Kashmir, the third tourism working group meeting under India's G20 presidency will begin today in Srinagar. A side event on film tourism is scheduled to be held later this afternoon, while the inaugural session of the working group meeting will be held tomorrow. The meeting will highlight the tourism potential and cultural richness of the region. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has called upon the people for their active support and contribution for the successful conduct of the event.
अमृतकाल में प्रगति की तरफ अग्रसर यूनियन टेरिटरी के लिए हजारों साल सफल आयोजन से हम पूरे विश्व को दिखा सकते हैं कि नई ऊर्जा के साथ आज जम्मू कश्मीर शिखर की तरफ अग्रसर है। ये आपका आयोजन है और इसे सफल बनाने की जिम्मेदारी भी आप सबके कंधों पर है।
Our Srinagar correspondent has filed this report.
Srinagar is ready to host the third Tourism Working Group meeting as part of India's G20 presidency. The meeting, scheduled to begin today, will be deliberating on 5 interconnected priority areas like green tourism, digitalization, skills, tourism MSMEs and destinations. It is expected that the meeting will focus on finalizing 2 key deliverables, which include a roadmap for tourism as a vehicle for achieving sustainable development goals and G20 tourism ministers' declarations. Besides the main event, there will be several side events on film tourism for economic growth, ecotourism and cultural preservation. For Akashvani News with Sunil Kohl and Zakir Nazir, this is Ishfaq Shah from Srinagar.
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik will expand his cabinet today. Several new ministers are to be inducted into the cabinet. The swearing-in ceremony will take place this morning at the Lok Seva Bhavan in Bhubaneswar, with Governor Ganeshi Lal administering the oath of office and secrecy to them. Sources said Bhanjnagar MLA Bikram Keshri Arukha, who resigned as the Speaker of the Odisha Legislative Assembly last week, Rourkela MLA Sarda Prasad Nayak, and Bhangiri Posi MLA Sudam Marandi are likely to be inducted as ministers in the cabinet. Last week, School and Mass Education Minister Sameer Ranjan Das and Labour Minister Srikant Sahu had tendered their resignation, while Health and Family Welfare Minister Naba Kishore Das was assassinated in January last, reportedly by a police personnel. The Odisha's Council of Ministers can have 22 ministers, including the Chief Minister. The state is going to assembly polls early next year. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Welcome back. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, who is on a 2-day visit to Kerala, will inaugurate the Silver Jubilee celebrations of the Kerala Legislative Assembly building in Thiruvananthapuram today. He will also release a souvenir of the Kerala Legislative International Book Festival. This is Mr. Dhankar's first visit to the state as the Vice President of India. Later today, the Vice President will visit Kannur to meet his teacher, Ms. Ratna Nair, at her residence in Thalassery. Ms. Nair had taught Mr. Dhankar when he was a student at Sainik School in Chittorgarh. The Vice President will also visit the Indian Naval Academy at Izhaimala in Kannur and interact with the cadets. The India Meteorological Department has issued a heat wave warning for Delhi and adjoining areas for today after the maximum temperatures in several parts of the capital were recorded above 45 degrees Celsius. According to the IMD, temperature in southwest Delhi's Najafgarh touched 46 degrees Celsius yesterday, the season's highest maximum temperature. The IMD also predicted that a fresh western disturbance will affect Delhi and other parts of northwest India from tomorrow. The IMD said under the influence of a fresh western disturbance, fairly widespread to widespread rainfall is likely with thunderstorm, lightning, gusty winds over western Himalayan region. It also added that isolated to scattered rainfall over plains of northwest India is also likely mainly from tomorrow to Thursday and decrease thereafter. We spoke to Director of IMD Chandigarh, Manmohan.
During last 24 hours, we have recorded high temperatures in Punjab and Haryana. Most of the places have recorded more than 40 degree temperature, and at few places we have recorded the temperature more than 44 degree in both the states of Punjab and Haryana, and even in adjoining area of these states. We have issued the forecast for high temperature for today also. Tomorrow onward, we have, because western disturbance is coming and rain is expected at most places in Punjab and Haryana.
As the Narendra Modi government is completing 9 years in office this month, Akashvani News is bringing a series of special stories on the initiatives taken by the government. Today we take a look at the progress of the One Nation One Ration Card ONORC scheme. Our correspondent reports that the scheme, which started with portability among 4 states in August 2019, has now been rolled out in all 36 states and union territories. A report.
The ONORC scheme includes about 80 crore National Food Security Act NFSA beneficiaries, which is about 100% of the country's NFSA population. Since its launch in 2019, over 93 crore portability transactions have been registered under the scheme. Addressing an event in February, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted that the ONORC has ensured free ration to crores of poor people in a transparent manner.
आप देखिए, टेक्नोलॉजी वन नेशन वन राशन कार्ड का आधार बनी और इससे करोड़ों गरीबों को पारदर्शिता से राशन मिलना सुनिश्चित हुआ। और दूसरे, जो प्रवासी मजदूर होते हैं, जो माइग्रेंट लेबरर्स होते हैं, उनके लिए तो एक बहुत बड़ा आशीर्वाद बन गया। टेक्नोलॉजी, जनधन अकाउंट, आधार और मोबाइल, इन तीनों के कारण करोड़ों गरीबों के बैंक खातों में सीधे पैसा भेजना संभव हुआ।
Under the scheme, over 99.5% ration cards have been linked with Aadhaar. Also, 99.8% fair price shops are being automated with the use of electronic point-of-sale devices for transparency, assuring distribution of subsidized food grains to the beneficiaries. Devabrat Datta, Akashvani News, Delhi.
World number 3 tennis star Daniil Medvedev clinched his maiden clay court title after beating Holger Rune at the Italian Open final in Rome yesterday. In the men's singles final, the Russian beat the 20-year-old Danish player 7-5, 7-5. It is Medvedev's fifth title of 2023 and victory lifts him above Novak Djokovic to second in the world rankings. Overall, he captured 20 career titles. He will also be the second seed at the French Open, which starts at Roland Garros on 28th of this month. Australian-Belgian pair of Storm Hunter and Eliza Mertens have become the women's doubles champions after defeating top-seeded Americans Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula 6-4, 6-4. Indian athlete Shaili Singh clinched a bronze medal at the Golden Grand Prix 2023 athletics meet in the women's long jump event in Yokohama, Japan yesterday. Shaili Singh attempted a jump of 6.65 meters, which provided her third place on the podium at the Yokohama meet, a World Athletics Continental Tour gold label event. Germany's Marci Lozolo won the gold medal with an effort of 6.79 meters, while Australia's Brooke Bushquet bagged the silver medal with a 6.77 meter leap. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Navneet Singh.
Thank you, Sarabjit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's three-nation visit and the warm welcome given by his counterpart in Papua New Guinea takes center stage in almost all newspapers today. Dialogue and diplomacy can end war. Modi at G7 reads the headline in the Hindustan Times. PM at G7 raise voice against unilateral change in status quo, states the Indian Express. With the pink notes crawling out, the Business Standard headlines, Rupee 2000 note may lose legal tender status by the year end. The Asian Age takes note, no ID forms to exchange Rupee 2000 notes. The Times of India talks about Jewar's metamorphosis from nondescript village to India's newest airport town. Under the caption, all work, no play, cops posing as fans bust IPL betting networks, informs the Hindustan Times. And finally, another add-on in the success of the blockbuster Drishyam in Korean soon, writes the Pioneer. And with that, it's back to you, Sarabjit.
Thank you, Navneet. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds talks with his Papua New Guinea counterpart James Marape in Port Moresby. Two leaders discuss cooperation in commerce, technology, healthcare and climate change. Third meeting of G20 Working Group on Tourism to begin today at Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik to expand his cabinet today. IMD issues heatwave warning for Delhi and adjoining areas as temperature breaches 45 degrees in several parts. Daniil Medvedev claims first clay court title of his career as he beat Denmark's Holger Rune in Italian Open tennis final, and Indian athlete Shaili Singh bags bronze medal at Golden Grand Prix 2023 athletics meet in Yokohama, Japan. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.